Motogp's new European venture takes us to Balaton Park. The Hungarian circuit has changed quite a bit for the arrival of the Grand Prix circuit this summer. Milestone have done a fabulous job in modelling the circuit well before we go there in real life. Unfortunately though, the track is definitely not a modern classic. But enough talking, let's show you. So we're riding here today as Jack Miller aboard his Pramac Yamaha. I must admit this was my first race on the game, so the riding is a bit below par for me. Now, the whole reason of making this video is that I wanted to explore Motogp's new circuit on the calendar. Of course, we're here in Balaton Park in Hungary, and I've played this before with a different game, a game that we will not mention, and the layout was slightly different. Layout was a lot better, as you'll see in a second. So I have a couple of stills and freeze frames throughout the video to show exactly what has been changed. And yeah, basically the track was always a bit meh, and now they've changed a lot of the good parts due to safety, which, look, I understand. But the question I have is, if we have to change the circuit so much because of it not being safe, should we go there in the first place? Because you're about to see the first part where they've ruined. So this was a lovely fast section. You go fast into the very fast left on the side there. See that extra bit of road there? That was a lovely fast long right-hander. Now we have this weird little kind of weird double apex long corner that slows us down, keeps us away from the barriers, and then slows us down into the next chicane. From here on, to be honest, the lap is just bad. So we come into this absolute nightmare of a tight little twisty chicane. You have a small skirt into then a very tight hairpin. And to be fair, the jewel of this track was this next left-hander. It was a flat out corner. You take it with so much speed and you'd spin it all the way through here. But unfortunately, because the GP bikes are too quick, that long road there to the right, that kind of service road looking thing now, that was one long fast flowing corner. Think of Stoners, Phillip Island. And unfortunately, now we have another chicane. Look at this, crawling speed, and again slows us down into what will be another chicane. You're starting to notice a theme here that it's twisty, tight, and chicanes is kind of what we have. They've changed it again. We have another chicane in the little last sector. So we used to go straight there, and it made the last corner a bit tighter, but again it took us away from the barriers. They brought it more infield, so unfortunately the layout is a bit scuffed. And again, I go back to the question I asked towards the start of the video, and that is, should we be going to a racetrack where we basically have to take all the good parts off the track and push us much closer to the infield of the track, away from barriers? Because this track is just really average now, and it was never great, mind, in the old layout. I never thought it was fabulous or anything, but it definitely has lost some of the most enjoyable kind of setups for overtakes, just in terms of actual riding. The first sector is quite stop-start. Again, you come to turn one, it's a slow right-left chicane. It's a bit of a more open chicane. You have a quick chicane here, so it's literally chicane heaven. If you like chicanes, you love it. If you don't, well, don't go to Hungary. Unfortunately, for years, Hungary have been trying to get back onto the calendar, and there was always the rumours we might go to Hungaroring, which I don't know if would be great for bikes. And Balaton Park has come up, and I was excited at the time. And again, unfortunately, it looks like this is not going to be another great track for us. And it's been a while, really, I think, since the GP calendar has gotten a brilliantly new track. I think Bud was probably the last one I can think of that was really good. And unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be going here, and it's just a bit average now. I want you to let me know in the comments yourself if you've played it, if you've played on any other games. Not going to mention what game, and how do you feel like it plays for you? Because for me, I feel like there's no flow to it, and I just don't, it just doesn't feel like to me what I would class as a modern day GP track. It just feels maybe like at superbikes at best, which superbikes are planning to go there, but just for me, there's something about it, how narrow it is, this whole stop-start nature it is. There's no character to it. It's literally as flat as a snooker table, so it's a bit of an interesting venue. Unfortunately, I don't really enjoy it, which is, it's a shame, because anytime a new track comes onto the calendar, you really want to hope it's another amazing track. And unfortunately, we're going to see the AI aren't perfect here, so I go really slowly through there, and yeah, murder.
Well, shit.
Yeah, exactly what Morgan Freeman said. So unfortunately, another long lap for me. Like I said, it wasn't my best 10 minutes here racing around Balaton Park, but it just begs the question, in real life, take away the game, will it be any good for racing? Will it be enjoyable for the riders? Because I don't think chicane, stop start is going to be any fun. the two kind of fun parts of the track really. It was this long left when it was the original real fast entry, spin it, and then you set up an overtake into here. Now it's a really slow drag out of a kind of nearly a really tight right out of chicane into another stupid chicane, and into what is probably the most okay corner on track is the last corner because it's pretty normal. So it's a pretty strange track in many senses. It's annoying really because again, Hungary have some good racing history, and it's a shame really that this is the track, sorry Marini, is the track that we end up going to, because I think there's probably better options. I still think maybe a bit of redevelopment at Hungarian that was announced years ago that we might be going there. That was probably a better option than what we have now. But like, just the overall layout for me just does not scream a top level GP track. And the feeling I have from this is that I might go there once and never again. So unfortunately, if you look at GP's track history over the last 5 years back, as far as 2020, we had Kimi Ring, never went there. That was a quirky place, not a bad track. Quirky would be the word I'd use. And then of course we had, now we're going to go to Balaton Park, which is the most recent one, but in there we had India, great track. Fortunately didn't get to go there in 2025, and it's also not in the 25 game, which is a real miss. Unfortunately Milestone didn't include it as a kind of an extra track, which is a shame. But then in the midst of that, we had also the track in Kazakhstan that we never got to go to. So unfortunately that one as well, that one in the game never looked great, but I felt like it just wasn't really populated well. It wasn't a terrible racetrack, it wasn't great. Similar to this, where it was a bit funky and maybe not the most flowing racetrack. It seems that most modern day tracks are designed in maybe a way to keep, I think all classes are getting faster and more dangerous. So I think a lot of modern day tracks are trying to slow things down instead of speed it up. The likes of Philoboyle and Mugello and Assen aren't really built these days anymore. But to end off the video, let me know in the comments, do you enjoy Balaton Park? What do you think of it in the game? And more importantly, what do you think it's going to be like in real life? Thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. I will see you back on Motogp 25 in the not so distant future. Thanks for watching. Slán go fóill.